Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss anxiety in relationships. And anxiety with the wrong person will definitely be amplified. Now, understanding the core need or the core foundational need where anxiety stems from is usually seeking reassurance. We're seeking safety and this space that we don't feel secure. Okay, so usually when we have anxiety in a relationship, we are seeking safety, reassurance, or we have our own insecurities, right? We're seeking to be secure. So understanding that what anxiety is really important. Anxiety is something that is actually quite natural to the nervous system. It is a fear response and quite often linked to our future, to future scenarios, future situations. How do we move through this process? How do we deal with something that is coming up, right? Now, anxiety, if we are able to self-regulate our nervous system and self-soothe ourselves, is just an indicator that we're not feeling completely safe about something. We're caught in our head and we have these emotions there. But so often, somebody that lives with a lot more anxiety, or if we're in a relationship with somebody that is not ideal for us, who is not showing up the way that they should, who are not reliable, who are not consistent, who are not emotionally available, they might be avoidant, they might not honor their words with actions, right? We lacked trust in them. Now, understanding this part is really important because so often if we have a natural response to be anxious and an anxious attachment style, and we struggle with a lot of insecurities, we ignore those red flags. We ignore those facts that they are making us feel insecure or unsafe within our nervous system and within our body. But when we ignore those red flags, our body still recognizes that. On a conscious level, we have actually acknowledged they are not doing something that we really need. We are not honoring, or they are not honoring, our needs for safety. So when we start to look at anxiety, there is, in the wrong situation, right, and the wrong person, these things get amplified. We start to go into very much coping mechanisms, which create a lot of mind chatter, a lot of emotional chaos. We feel emotionally overwhelmed. We can't get the stories out of our head. We think about things all the time. We actually start to feel more insecure. There's so many different coping mechanisms that a person will adapt when they feel unsafe, right? We might even struggle to approach the person and actually talk about how we're feeling. Why? Because we actually fear being abandoned. We have stayed with this person and not spoken about the red flags because we fear abandonment. We fear that we won't be loved. We don't want to be alone. So really understanding that being in this relationship is going to amplify your anxiety. It's going to amplify your coping mechanisms and make a lot more chaos within your energetic field and within your physical body. Eventually, you will get to a point that you will feel overwhelmed and you need to do something about it. So often we start to then express our needs and our emotions, but we don't do it in the most healthiest of ways. Or then we actually start to seek help. We need help. We don't know how to fix this problem. Well, firstly, I want to if we can't discuss with somebody about how they are not showing up for us, and they are not able, or we have discussed it and they are not able to, we shouldn't be in that relationship because you're going to continue to deal with that anxiety. Honoring yourself and honoring your needs must be one of the most important things to you. It's called self-love. Now, if we are in a relationship with somebody that is actually quite secure, we will feel safe to approach them, to discuss things. As if we have anxiety, we might tiptoe around it a little bit and eventually come to opening that communication, and they will hold space for us. They will openly discuss things. They will actually support you. You will feel honored or valued by their responses. They will reassure you about things that you might not have anything to be concerned about, that they actually really do care about you. And yes, they want to, fulfill your needs. And then they will take action. And this will start to actually soothe your anxiety response within the body. A person that is actually secure feels very grounded. They feel safe to the nervous system. Though many of us, if we've experienced long-term anxiety and anxious attachment styles, what becomes our normal is chaos. When something feels quite calm, it feels boring, right? And we seek these relationships to continue this addiction to the chemicals and this highs and lows and, this dynamic relationship. But it's actually not healthy. Anxiety releases a lot of chemicals in the body that actually are not good for you long term. Understanding that this relationship can actually help you start to see your pattern. I know in the past with my relationships where I've been in a relationship and tried to commit to somebody who wasn't available, they definitely showed me my insecurities. They made me question myself. They made me start to learn to speak up and talk about my needs and actually honor my worth. But it took time to come into that place. Because if we have deep down self-love issues and insecurities within ourselves and low self-esteem, we will keep blaming ourselves. We will fear their abandonment. And we won't know that there is somebody else out there for us. But you do deserve somebody that's going to support you. You do deserve somebody that's going to feel safe for you. I myself want to reflect that in this whole process of being anxious, that core foundational thing, you need to be able to access that. You need to know what part of you doesn't feel safe, what part doesn't feel secure. So you're carrying insecurities. What part of you needs reassurance, right? Which is really safety. You need to start actually getting curious with these parts of yourself so you can actually start to give yourself what you need or express what you need. And this is really important. Also understanding if you do come into a relationship with somebody that is secure, that does feel safe, it is not their job to heal you. They're to support you. But they're not going to heal you. You need to have the tools to regulate your nervous system. You need to be able to self-soothe. You need to be able to communicate in healthy ways. You need to be able to start to take action so you don't get consumed by this anxious response and jeopardize the relationship. So it is something that's been very much dear to my own heart and my own healing and my own paths in relationship is actually learning about my own anxiety and my own anxiousness, because that has actually elevated me to a better place and creating better relationships, that each relationship that has showed me something that they didn't give me showed me what I really did desire, showed me the diversity, the opposition to what I want and what I need and what will make me thrive. But it's not just them. I needed to go internal and also give those things to myself. I needed to create safety within myself. I needed to feel secure within myself. I needed to have that own inner reassurance that I will be okay, that I can have all the things that I desire, that I will not be abandoned because I'm not abandoning myself, that the universe will support me, and I will find somebody that would support me and stay and not leave me. And even if I didn't find somebody, I'm so happy in my own energy, in my own body, in my own feelings, that I'm thriving. I'm not desperate. I'm not needy. And I'm not letting the anxiety make me erratic, right? So these are really, really important things to reflect on. If you suffer from anxiety in relationships, start to get curious. Sit with yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need? Am I fearing abandonment? Am I fearing insecurities? Do I have insecurities? Do I need safety? Whatever those things are, sit with those things and get to know yourself more deeply. Lots of love.